Hi everyone. Hi Deepak.
Hey guys, we are waiting for Ankush to join. Once he joins, we'll start the session.
Recording. So, visible to all. Hi, everyone. So today I am here to give you some insights on how you can hunt your job or how you can upskill from the current job that you have. And this is going to be, as Vedant said, a pretty interesting and interactive session because I want to talk to you. I want to understand your insights as well. I want to see the problems that you have faced. And then, based upon my experiences and the experiences that I've gathered over the past so many years in the industry, how these will apply to you and how we can move from a place wherein we are at stage one, we can move to maybe stage 3 or 4 and understand that what is the process that takes so much time when we try to hunt jobs and when we are trying to uh, upskill ourselves so as to get these sorts of incremental updates to our skill set as well as our careers. So I'll just start sharing my screen and I have prepared a little presentation for all so that we can move in a sequential fashion. But this is just for reference. As I said, I'll be trying to interact with you all a lot more in this session and try to understand that how we can do things better over here. So let me know if this is visible to you all.
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. So today our goal is to understand that why is it so hard to hunt for any job, and why specifically for front end, uh, given the current market space, how we can improve ourselves and how we can understand the mathematics as well as the strategies on how we can implement a strategy which would help us to shorten this process by quite a bit. So, why you should learn from me? Again, I'll do a brief introduction of these few things that will make you maybe trust me a bit more. So, I have done my graduation from a university. Most of you wouldn't have heard of uh, this university's name unless until you are in the North region. It's a University of Petroleum and Energy Studies. My first salary that I drew in when I started my career was roughly 20,000 in hand, and this was in Mumbai, wherein my rent surpassed somewhere around like 12,000. So that was where I had started. Since then, over the next couple of years, I have been a part of a lot of organizations. I have contributed to big names like MasterCard, LTI, Razorpay, CleverTap, Hotstar, and so on. So this is a continuous journey that I have been taking upon. Currently, I work in Google under the GTech team, and I'm working upon the Google workspaces. I've also been on a journey to implement an organization called the Code Wolf, which is geared towards the edtech as well as the professional consulting space in the IT sector. And herein we have successfully helped about 100 plus students get their kickstart in the job or maybe upskill themselves so that they can lead their career in a better fashion. So all in all, this is how I can brag about myself. And this is how I can tell you that all the information that I'll be sharing with you, it's based upon a lot of experiences, a lot of trials and errors that we have faced, and a lot of strategies that have been crafted by me and my team so as to ensure that we give this sort of strategy, which will shorten your time a lot by making yourselves more streamlined and make yourselves more informed in the decision-making process on how you can hunt for different jobs. So today, what we are going to look forward to will be on specifically the first topics that I want to start with is to give you an idea, to create a baseline, to create an expectation, to understand that how and why job hunting is so hard these days. Why these job hunts that most of the people start, they fail, and why on LinkedIn we see such posts like I cannot work, I have been out of work for 6 months, please help me, and so on. So I do empathize with those, but there is a process for the entire job hunting process. And that's why if that is not followed, we come at a pace, we come at a standstill point wherein the entire process seems to fail for us. And that's what we'll be creating our baseline with today. And then we move forward to the mathematics of job hunting. Like I want you to understand that whom are you competing with? What is your target marketplace? And what makes it so hard so that whenever you are applying for any job, you'll have to keep these numbers in mind so that you as a person, as a candidate, can implement your skill set in a level that competes with this number. There is a strategy that we have developed here in Code Wolf. It's called the bomb strategy because A, it sounds cool, and B, well, it's the bomb. And honestly speaking, this has led to drastic changes. We have, since the implementation of this strategy, we have helped students gather job insights and upskill their careers from an average time span of say 6 months. We have shortened it down to now 2.5 to 3 months, and this strategy has helped a lot of the candidates to even shorten this to maybe say 15-20 days. So we have seen this working, and this is something that I would love to share with you all so that your job hunting time, your upskilling time is also shortened by this process. Now, one of the important strategies also that we segregate from the bomb process and we try to focus a lot more upon it is the track. And tracking the hunt is basically, most of the times we do not know what to do when we actually start looking for jobs. Like we can keep on applying, but we'll eventually end up at a place wherein we have applied to, let's say, 100 jobs, but we don't even know which jobs have we applied for. And that makes it so damn difficult to track that even if you get a call from a recruiter, say one day you are getting a recruiter from Infosys or TCS, and the second day you are getting from Microsoft, but you'll get so confused because you'll never know which job have you applied where. So tracking is an important part, how we can do it systematically, what all steps we can take, different templates that I'll just show you practically as well, how we can do this in a better fashion. And this will essentially reduce your hunt time a lot. Now, going in for the kill is basically a story that I would want to share with you. There are certain points that we'll cover through those stories, and I think that will provide you into insights on how a successful job hunt looks like, and what are the different stages, what are the emotional, what are the physical, and what are the skill set level of aspects that you'll take so that you can go for the kill and you can complete this cycle. So, and when I say it's a cycle of repetition. You might not get successful for the very first time, but that repetition is what will empower you to keep going on till you go for the kill. And finally, some closing notes wherein we'll just understand what we went through and maybe do a little bit of interaction to understand if you all have any doubts. Now, for the purpose of this like discussion, there might be times where I might not be reading chat, so I would request your help, Vedant, wherein you can just stop me and like we can go through these chats within the session as well, because I do want to stop wherever we have certain doubts popping up.
Yeah.
Great. So let's just start. Now, start करते हैं. अभी तक मैंने बहुत सारी चीजें बोल ली, but अब let's understand. Let's create that baseline. What makes this job hunting process so hard? And there is a reason why I've gone with the theme of how to train your dragon, because just like how, like if you have seen this movie, How to Train Your Dragon, the entire process of doing something and getting successful, like the person over here would be training their own dragon. It's so complicated and hard that many of like much of the time there is confusion, there is misunderstanding, and most people just give up. And the reason why these people give up is that you can see that about 62 million people are directly working in the IT sector. 62 million people are already working in the IT sector. They can be as a developer, they can be as a tester, they can be working as anything else. But with 62 million people, it's a big industry. And definitely, if these number of people have been working, there are always openings coming up. There are always positions wherein people can apply for jobs. Companies will keep on hiring. Companies will keep on growing. So why is there that dearth of jobs? Why is this getting jobs even in this industry, which is so booming? Why is it so hard? So the reason it's hard is that even if there are so many people working, the companies are very selective in the process of hiring, especially in top tier organizations like Google, Microsoft, any FAANG company, Netflix, Adobe, anything that you can think of at the top tier, they'll be very selective. And less than 1%, we'll also come to the mathematics of that, but less than 1% of the total applicants are hired for a job within a year. So if you are competing with 100 people, chances are that only one or like no one will be selected. It's that hard. And in top tier organizations that facilitate this movement, such as LinkedIn, GoIBibo, many other organizations, Monster.com, Indeed, etc. All of these organizations will see about 300 applicants per application for each and every such scenario. And this gives us a very important insight that whenever we are trying to job hunt, we are also competing with about 300 people on an average for each and every open role. And even in these situations, about 80% of these open roles are hidden behind a company's own internal policies of hiring. They'll be more open to referrals instead of just posting these on any other site. A very good example of this is Zomato or Swiggy. You'll hardly see them posting any other jobs because they'll be relying upon referrals. And these are like two great unicorns coming out of India, just hiring left and right. But we don't see those hirings happen much. And I think even Vedant would agree that in Hotstar as well, this is a policy that referrals take precedence over anything else. So most of the organizations that have built a credibility, जहाँ पे उन्होंने अपना एक रुतबा एक बना लिया कि now we are established, now we have the consumer base, we have the customers, they'll want to be very selective with you. And since they are very selective, the barrier of entry, the barrier of landing that interview also becomes very, very, very hard. Now, I want you all to ask yourself that if you'll apply for a front-end job, what is the one skill set, only one, that you'll highlight the most in your resume? It can be a programming language, it can be communication, it can be soft or hard skills, anything. Can you just type this quickly in chat, all of you? Just one skill that you'll highlight the most in your resume when you apply for any front-end role. JavaScript, React, JavaScript, React, okay, JS. Anything else? JS and React. Okay, I asked one, but okay. Do we have all? Is anyone remaining? No? Great. So you all asked, like most of you have been promoting JavaScript and React. What if I tell you that the most important skill as a recruiter, if I'm looking forward, would be problem solving? I don't see it there. JavaScript is a tool. React is some language or like framework that you have learned. Everyone has learned that. Like you can see in your answers as well. Everyone has this. Why should I hire you? I'll see hundreds of applications with the same skill set. So that's the dilemma the recruiters and the technical systems are also facing. That why should they hire you if this sort of discrepancy, not discrepancy, but this sort of commonality is faced. As a front-end developer, I'll be faced with problems that are different every single day. And if they are different every single day, that means that I need someone who is very good at problem solving. Again, I'll give you a very good example on this. Last year, when I think Vedant was working upon a solution wherein there was some sort of a feature which had a pop-up emerging out of a card. And within that pop-up, again, when you'll click on something, again, a new pop-up will appear and it'll keep on opening till the user closes them down and cascades them and closes it. Now, even when I'm explaining it, it's something very complicated. Every single day, there'll be a new solution implemented on it. And when there is a new solution every single day, it doesn't matter you are working on JavaScript. It doesn't matter you are working upon React. What matters is that how you're perceiving this thing, especially in front end. Whoever says, like मैंने बहुत जगह memes देख चुका हूँ, बहुत Instagram, LinkedIn, हर जगह पे देख चुका हूँ कि back-end developers are the real developers. पर उनमें से किसी एक को ये solution बनाने को बोल दो, they'll not do it. I can bet they'll not do it. So problem solving, this skill set, this criteria, if that's not on your resume, if that is not picked by the SEO optimization engines, if resume handlers, tools like these, then how will you differentiate yourself? So that is my another point, that 90% of the applicants will apply for roles with skill sets that might not be required or might be very common for that role. So it will be very hard to judge who is good, who is bad. Right? Now, again, let's do another exercise. Let's say you applied on a role on December 21, 2021. Now you got an invite for an interview on January 23rd, 2022. Right? In the middle of this, you have also applied for, let's say, hundreds of different roles. You might be also interviewing for some other organization. What is the probability of you even replying to that role, even tracking that down, making sure that you have the recruiter's number, making sure that you have the address of the organization, any such information? What is the probability of you between 0 to 100% of getting behind that person that, okay, no, even if I'm interviewing for 10 roles, I'll also interview for this? You can just put that number like 0 to 100%. What is your probability? And be honest. There are no wrong answers. Just be honest. 10%. Okay. I want all of you to just type over here. 1%. Most likely to miss the track. Vedant, speaking from experience. 1%. I'm assuming 0%. Okay, I think we have a lot of answers, 10%. Globally, it has been identified that about 30% of these applicants lose track of each and every application unless and until they are actively involved in the hiring process. And another statistics that came out of Cambridge University was that out of these forgotten applications, like 70% of things that have been forgotten, about 50% of the jobs always almost do escalated or like priority hirings, and almost always offer the candidates a bit more than what would they had gotten from the current organization that they'll be interviewing for. So the answer is clear. You should not forget anything whenever you are applying for any job. It's a war. It's a war going on between you and about 300 other applicants. If you are missing one step, they might be taking one more. As I just mentioned, that there are 300 applicants almost always applying for every other open position on top tier organizations. So tracking again becomes very, very important. Now, another mistake that you might not do, हमारी कोई गलती नहीं हो सकती कि ठीक है हमने अपनी तरफ से ट्रैकिंग भी कर ली, हमने स्किल सेट भी सही डाल दिया, रेज्यूमे भी बढ़िया बना लिया, सारी चीजें कर ली, सब कुछ हो गया, everything is fine. We did every single thing at the best possible manner that we could. So in that situation, what could go? We would just visually, I'll give you a very simple example. In a front-end level role, they might expect you to know Vue.js, React.js, as well as AngularJS. Now tell me, don't you think so that a React developer or like any front-end developer would prioritize learning one and maybe having some sort of third-party experience on some other frameworks, and no organization would want this developer to work upon all these three things? So if you apply to such roles, what will be your interview process like? You'll not even clear the first round because you don't know what is going to be asked in this interview round. So the job description is itself incorrect. Most of the times we don't even read the job descriptions. We just apply कर दिया, अब फिर बाद में देखेंगे जब call आएगा. So we aren't even considerate about what's going on in the job description. Another example is that some roles will require you to have the entire skill set of the entire IT team. 3 साल के experience पे. Possible है? नहीं. So what can we do over there? Every single time, read the job description, understand that does this match with my skill set? If it's matching 60% with your skill set, go out to the hiring manager, reach out to the recruiter, tell them that you have mentioned so and so things. Does this mean that I have to know each and everything? Or what is the critical skill set that you are looking forward to? Most of the times you might not even get a call back or answer back. But then those organizations which aren't interested in interacting with the potential candidates, why would you even want to apply there? So if the organizations are being selective in their process, you also have to be selective to increase your chances. Apply for those jobs which have clear-cut, precise job descriptions available, which make sure that your skill set or the skill set that you have developed the most is highlighted the best over here, wherein you can showcase your other skill sets as well. तो ऐसा ही नहीं रहना कि भाई हमने सब कुछ कर लिया, सामने भी देखना है that what they are doing for their potential recruits, for their potential leads. And all of these points, all of these things, all of these very, very small mistakes make your job hunting process go from anywhere to 6 months to a 1 year period. And this is based upon the national statistical average of job hunting. And it is very sad to see, because these are very small and minor mistakes. These are very crucial statistics to get your baseline sorted, to understand that where do we lie, how are we competing with so many people, and to understand that how we can get an upper hand from these other people who are trying to apply for jobs. Now let's move forward. अब हमने ये तो समझ लिया कि भाई important चीजें हमारे पास क्या थी. In the last in the last slide we were trying to understand why is it hard. Now let's also understand that why most of these things are failing. I'll quickly cover these, because what I want to reach is like the positive aspect, how we can mitigate these. So first being, as I have just demonstrated, that relevant skill set and experience, and most importantly, the differentiating skill set and experience that you have. Do not apply for a senior level role if you have only 1 year of experience. Even if you get the interview, I can bet you about 90% of the time, you will not have the relevant skill set, even if you get the job. So it's just something that will waste your entire time, entire process, your entire challenge of getting upskilled. So know what experience you have, know what skill sets you have, and apply for the relevant roles. I'll give you a very good metric on this. 0 to 3 years, you can apply for beginner level and intermediate or mid-level jobs. 3 years to 7 years, you can apply for mid-senior to senior level jobs. Above and beyond, managerial, as well as jobs that require a bit more expertise or specialization. Now, this is a general guideline. It might be possible that you have a subject level, subject matter expertise on some singular topic, which would allow you to bypass this. But this is a general metric that you should keep in mind whenever you are trying to hunt for jobs. Ineffective job strategy, we'll come on this later as well. But essentially, what I have understood with a lot of students that I have interacted with, most of you apply through LinkedIn. तो जॉब के ऊपर सर्च किया, 10 जॉब्स आ गई, सबके ऊपर धड़ा 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 अप्लाई कर दिया, रिज्यूमे डाल दिया, सब कुछ खत्म हो गई हमारी जॉब हंटिंग. आएगा मैसेज आ गया, नहीं आया छोड़ दो, अब देखा जाएगा, भगवान भरोसे. This is what most people do. I did a survey on this. About 79% of the people exactly did this entire process. 79% is a big number. The rest remaining, some of them reached out to the recruiter. This was about 5 to 6%. And the rest of them, even if they reached out to the recruiter, their skill set, their experience, their like entire other process of crafting resume, that lacked. So the entire strategy failed, which meant that even if they are getting jobs, they are not getting that in a stipulated amount of time, which is 2 to 3 months. That's what we are targeting over here. Poorly constructed resume and cover letters. AI आ गया है भाई, ChatGPT है हमारे पास बहुत सारे AI tools हैं. We have the capability of understanding कि resumes के ऊपर हम सबसे ज़्यादा traction कैसे लेके आए. तो जब वो है, why aren't we crafting these? And I want all of you to again use the chat and tell me how many of you have a cover letter right this moment. और कोई झूठ बोलेगा तो मैं मांगूंगा अभी. So just tell me that cover letter अभी किस को पता है कि क्या होता है और किस के पास है. No. Negative. Come on, guys. We want this to be interactive. Just, yeah. No one has cover letters. Great. ये भी हम cover करेंगे. Why this is important. But I appreciate this honesty, because मुझे भी नहीं पता था कि like what do cover letters do. Resume तो है ना मेरे पास, तो why do I need this? And last one is persistence and resilience. Indians में थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता है, but still there are external factors, there are situations जहाँ पे we need jobs sometimes urgently to fulfill our basic survival needs. So patience is a virtue that is not available to all, but certainly required for this process. Resilience, on the other hand, is something that we should inculcate. And with resilience on this, what I would want you to understand is that job hunting is a tedious and a very tiring process. If you properly track everything, out of every 200 roles that you apply, only 10 roles will call you back or like give you a interview chance. 200 में से 10. So it's like 5%. Anand is asking for cover letter while applying for job, and great. I'll just come to it later on as well in the strategy. But this is a good question to come forward to later on. And I think that also ties up to the resilience factor, because cover letter is sort of your first introduction, and we'll definitely cover that. Now we have understood like why hunting is hard, why most of the times we fail. And now let's just understand the mathematics that I had mentioned earlier. Now, as an engineer in Google, I was able to get some inside data. I was able to craft some sort of statistics so that you understand that how these numbers work in the real world. So in Google, we receive about 1.5 million applications every year. 1.5 million. 6,000 candidates are hired globally, not just in India, globally. इंडिया के ऊपर जाएंगे तो और कम हो जाएगा ये, but I just wanted to see what would happen if we just took the global numbers. Now, if we just calculate the probability of you applying for Google and getting hired today, it's 0.4%. Let that number sink in. 1% भी नहीं है. To give you a very good idea on how skewed this metric is, if you today go and sit for a JEE exam or a UPSC exam or a CA exam, you'll have a higher probability of getting selected there than in Google, than in Microsoft, than in LinkedIn, than in Adobe, than in anything else. तो जो भी अभी घर पे बैठ के ऐसे बोला ना यार कि गवर्नमेंट जॉब के लिए प्रिपेयर करते हैं या फिर छोड़ो इसमें क्या, ये तो प्राइवेट जॉब है, इसमें तो कोई भी चला जाता है, give them this number. It's that hard to be at the best of the best. And this is where I want you to reach. But the thing is that like even if you apply for these government level jobs, you can see that where this discrepancy lies. वहां पे फिर भी आसान है भाई, क्योंकि वहां पे एक प्रोसेस है, पेपर है, पता है क्या क्वेश्चन आएगा क्या नहीं होगा, हमें पूरा स्टेप्स पता है, ये सिलेबस है, पढ़ो निकलो. No one knows what your interviewer will ask. And this is the number that should keep yourself grounded, that you should keep in your mind, that if you're applying for any top level organization, this is your probability of getting hired. And that's why we want you to make this probability jump from 0.4% to 20% with the process that I'm just mentioning. 20% बहुत ज़्यादा होता है from like less than a percent. And that's what we have calculated becomes higher when you follow the steps that I'm just going to just elaborate upon later on. So with this number, let's just move forward. Now let's come to the fun part, the BOMB strategy. BOMB stands for be open, meticulous, and better. कुछ मत पढ़ो, सिंपल सा मैं एक चीज बताता हूँ कि अगर हम कहीं पे भी अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो हम भूलेंगे नहीं, अगर हम भूलेंगे नहीं तो हम उसको ट्रैक करेंगे, अगर हम ट्रैक करेंगे तो हम नेटवर्क करेंगे, नेटवर्क करेंगे तो हम अपनी मिस्टेक सुधारेंगे. Every single time will be better. It will be a continuous cycle of running towards different steps that makes us improve our percentage from 0.5% to 20%, with each step improving about 1 to 2% of your chances in every single organization that you apply for. So, पहला step यही है, you'll have to be open for each and every role that you can think wherein your skill set can be useful for. Colgate का नाम सुना है सबने? Colgate. वहां पे we need software developers so much. They are implementing cutting edge solutions to make sure that their entire system is AI optimized right now. They are creating different genres of multimedia interactions with different people, different geographies, different organizations, so that most of the customers can come into their business. उसके लिए engineers चाहिए, software engineers चाहिए. But as an IT guy, I don't think so you'll apply for that easily. तुम्हें तो पता भी नहीं होगा कि यार ये IT भी करते हैं. You'll more likely go to Google, Microsoft, TCS, LTI, Infosys, Accenture, IBM, Deloitte. यहाँ जाएंगे. And when we think of non-core jobs, we think of like big banks, JP Morgan, you know. So when this sort of lack of information happens, even if you get a role from certain such organizations, you'll maybe not be very open to those. Why would you want to work with ONGC? उनका काम तो petroleum का है. But if they need an IT engineer, if they need someone to develop their front end, you'll maybe be hesitant. And that's where the first step comes. Look for jobs outside your core offering or the core IT sector. Look for a diverse portfolio and try to understand that what is the opportunity cost in this. Opportunity cost का मतलब है कि आपको कितना टाइम और किस किस से जाके मिलना पड़ेगा जिससे कि आप इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर एंट्री ले सको, इंटरव्यू ले सको. That's your opportunity cost in this. How much or like what is the average salary package for your role? This is very important. Average salary package usually in non-core sector will be a bit lower, but you should calculate this based upon your current base package, not like the entire marketing standard that you are looking forward to. There is a very important reason for that. It's because job hunting is a process wherein there is always a chance of getting a better offer if you have multiple offers in hand, especially in sectors which solve diverse and more complicated problems, more unique problems than what we are facing in the core sector of IT. So जब हम इस तरीके के roles के ऊपर भी ध्यान देते हैं, so the other recruiters and the algorithms that hunt for jobs for us, they become more active to hunt these jobs for us, right? So be open to this sector as well. Try to look into organizations. Try to see अगर कोई ad देख रहे हो TV के ऊपर, just go to their careers page and see if they are hiring. Try to be open in this sector. Do not just rely upon LinkedIn. Go to the individual careers page of each and every organization. Try to hunt for the jobs through the organization's own channels, like understand they might be posting upon Twitter, they might be posting upon Facebook, they might be posting upon any other media platform that they are more active upon. Twitter is a great way, by the way. Sorry, not Twitter now, X. X is a great way of understanding and seeing कि लाइक माइंडेड लोग अभी कहाँ कहाँ काम कर रहे हैं. मतलब पूरे टाइम बकवास कर रहे होते हैं मेरे जो कॉन्टैक्ट्स होते हैं, बट कुछ कुछ टाइम पे दे डू पोस्ट रियली सिग्निफिकेंट जॉब ऑफरिंग्स. So build a base over there and be open to these things. So first step, be open. Second, being meticulous. Now this is something that I want to do as an exercise as well later on. I have prepared something nice for you, a practical application for this. But meticulous का मतलब वही है जो हमने अभी पहले डिसाइड किया था कि हमने कुछ भूलना नहीं है, हमने कुछ ये नहीं स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी है कि अगर आज एक जॉब का इंटरव्यू आ गया तो पिछली सारी जॉब्स को भूल जाओ. नहीं. Till the moment you join any organization, unless until it's your like the dream job, the top company that you had always wondered and wished for entering in, unless it's that, till the moment you join, you should always try to upskill, always try to hunt for the best possible offer that you can get. This is something that I'm saying because this is something that each and every organization also does. They try to hunt for the best possible candidates. So conversely, you should also try to hunt for the best possible offers. ऐसा नहीं हो जाना कि भाई लग गई अपनी नौकरी, अब तो बता दो मोहल्ले को, अब मैं नहीं करता, अब बस आप चाय ले आओ मेरे को. नहीं, चाय तभी पीना जब ज्वाइन कर जाओ, और वहीं पे पीना, पैसे भी बचेंगे. So meticulousness comes with a lot of tracking. एंड ये ना थोड़ा क्लरिकल काम हो जाता है. हम वैसे आईटी के अंदर हम कोडिंग वोडिंग करते हैं, लेकिन हम ये सारी चीजें भूल जाते हैं. एक्सेल, गूगल शीट्स, they'll be your best friends in this. So I'll give you some templates, some ideas on how you can create this. But हम सारे इंट्रैक्शंस, when did you apply, how did you apply, किससे बात की, उसका कोई रिवर्ट आया, नहीं आया तो क्यों नहीं आया, एनी रिमार्क्स, एनी कमेंट्स, डिड यू अप्लाई फॉर इंटरव्यू, व्हेन वाज द फर्स्ट इंटरव्यू, व्हेन वाज द सेकंड इंटरव्यू. सो कीप अ ट्रैक ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स. बी बेटर. ये लास्ट स्टेप होता है आफ्टर यू गो इनटू द इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस. Every single time you clear or fail an interview round, ask 3 questions. First, if you have failed, what are the steps that I should take from here on to improve my skill set so that I can apply again in this organization? I'll repeat. What are the steps that I should take so that I can improve my skill set so that I can apply again in this organization? उसका बहुत सिंपल सा रीजन है कि एवरी सिंगल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज अ 6 month विंडो ऑफ रीअप्लाइंग अगेन. सो इवन इफ यू फेल, गैदर दिस इंफॉर्मेशन कि मैंने अभी क्या गलत किया, ताकि मैं बाद में भी अगर वापस आऊं तो फिर मेरे चांसेस बढ़ जाए. बिकॉज नाउ दैट यू हैव इंटरव्यूड, दिल प्रायोरिटाइज हायरिंग यू नेक्स्ट टाइम. And this is something unheard of, unsaid. Most people don't focus this upon, most people don't tell this. But if I have seen you, if I know your application is within the system, it's very, very likely that again, next time जब आओगे, मैं तुम्हें chance दूंगा rather than कोई और candidate जिसको मैं जानता भी नहीं हूँ. This is true for computerized system. This is true for humans. Both vetting processes prioritize you. So understand what did you do wrong? पहला question. Second, again, if you have failed, can you tell me the important stakeholders or the important people who are involved in the hiring process so that I can keep in touch? एक नाम चाहिए जिसके साथ पूरे टाइम आप लिंक्डइन पे कहीं पे भी कोई भी कनेक्शन रखो. एक नाम. Ask them, is there any important person, recruiter or any hiring manager that I can keep in touch with later on? ठीक है. Most of the times, if you keep in touch, your 6 months window can be shortened to either 3 or 4 months as well. Or they can refer you to a different but similar role. True story, this happened with me. So keep in touch. Third, again, if you have failed the interview round, ask for the exact point wherein the interview felt that I was not a good fit. Exact point. Most of those will not tell you. Some will not give you this exact precise point, but jisse bhi mil gaya, it will change your career path for the good. I'll give you an example. In one of the interview rounds that I had faced about 2.5 years ago, the recruiter simply told me that even though I was good in React and JavaScript, I lacked severely in the database implementational part, which might not be needed in frontend, but as a developer, I should understand so that if certain errors occur, I should be able to debug those. Truly changed my perspective of understanding what all skill set should I look out for. That's very critical. So be considerate of these 3 questions. Precise चीज पूछ लो, रिक्रूटर के साथ कनेक्ट में ले लो, और फिर ये देखो कि हम कैसे वापस अपनी चीजों को इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. So this last process of being better puts you into a cycle. क्योंकि once you are connected with this important person, once you are again in the loop, once you know कि तुमने गलत क्या किया इस बार, this puts you into that cycle of not repeating it again. And if you're not repeating it, it immediately bumps 10% of that chance from your initial hunt. अगर तुमने पहले के steps भी थोड़े बहुत गलत किए हैं, 0.4% पे अटके हो, this single step will land you 10% better chances. From 0.4 to 10%. It's a huge jump. So understand that this is the most important step. And this isn't something that I'm just repeating out of the blue. I have proven statistics proving that this is the most crucial step in each and every cycle of interview process. एक बार आपने interview land कर दिया, for any company that you like, there are chances that you can be hired for that company later on if you follow this step. Even if you fail. Now, if you, for example, successfully pass the interview round, 2 questions hai. Simple. First, try to ask what will be the next round like? How should I prepare for that? Simple. ये हम usually पूछते नहीं है, but इससे थोड़ी भी insight मिल गई, सामने वाले इंटरव्यू को थोड़ा भी पता होगा, They'll just give you a guideline how to prepare for the next round. Second, always ask your interviewer about this important thing, that whenever they interviewed you, what all communicational aspects do you think that should be improved so that I can do better in future? Communication, technical के ऊपर नहीं जाना है. हो सकता है कि आप बहुत स्लो बोल रहे हो सकता है बहुत ज्यादा टाइम ले रहे हो सकता है कि आपने जो कुछ भी बोला सामने वाले को समझ ही नहीं आया, क्लियर ही नहीं हुआ कुछ भी नहीं. ये चीजें हमें टेक्निकल पर्सपेक्टिव से तो बढ़िया निकल गया, इंटरव्यू राउंड निकल गया, but as you progress forward in interview rounds, your technical experience or technical expertise becomes less prominent. I think Vedant can also agree on this. If you see the Hotstar interview process, शुरू में सब कुछ technical पूछ लेंगे, but then it's the focus becomes how you communicate, how you interact with your team, how you strategize, problem solving कैसा निकलेगा, उसके लिए communication important है. So ask your recruiter कि communication में मैंने क्या गलत किया या कुछ लगा आपको तो बताओ. Right? दो ही questions. So success and fail के ये 5 questions. I'll just also share a PDF detailing these later on. But these 5 questions help you put into a cycle. If you do all these bomb steps, you will be approximately 22 to 25% in a better scenario. 20% minimum, 22 to 25 if you put all the scenarios better in this situation. Now let's move ahead. It's very interesting. The next thing, tracking the hunt. So this is a very good template that I have prepared, and I think I'll be sharing this as well. And I'll show you how this can help you. Let's just move to the tracker. Oh my God, I don't have the tracker loaded. Let's see if I have here. Anyway, I'll just explain this from this page as well. So what I'm trying to do over here is just tell you that how you can create this sort of tracker and how you can use this template so that whenever you are hunting for any job, you are able to understand and you are able to see that how your tracking of this job is going on. And this helped me tremendously in all the job hunts that I have done. So if you go on my LinkedIn, you'll see that I have worked with a number of organizations. I mean, whenever I applied for these jobs, the entire process started with this entire application tracker. You'll start with entering your company name. For example, I'll just add CleverTap, for example, over here. Now, what position am I applying for? I'm applying for the role of SD1 or 2. So what was the website link? Or here, what was the job link that you applied for? So just apply for something like right now. I'll just put. Some organizations will ask you to come for in-person interview. This is especially true for the roles that are in the non-core sector. So add the address if they are the non-core sector. So for example, let's just change this from CleverTap to ONGC. They asked me to come to Dehradun. So I'll just put that address as well. Whom did I contact with? Did I get a recruiter's number? So I'll just ask, maybe add some recruiter's number over here. Oh, sorry, recruiter's name over here. Let's just add this and then their number. Try to discuss your base package or salary package, the budget for the role. If you can get a range, just apply that range over here. You got the good range over here. When did you apply for this role? Add the date. When did the first interview round get scheduled? All this information you should apply for. And then once this is done, if you are not getting the interview date, for example, you just applied upon today's date. Okay, you just applied today and then no interview was scheduled. So how many days has this been passed? So obviously, this tracker is already calculating this on its own, so you don't have to do this. But this will help you to understand that if general rule of thumb is that if it's more than a week, you have to reach out, give them mails, hunt them on LinkedIn, hunt them on Instagram, do every possible thing you can, hunt them down and ask them that when will my first round will be scheduled? If it's not scheduled, what is the reason? Just ask the interviewer, just ask the organization wherever you apply. And similarly for all these other rounds. If you have more than 3 rounds, just add a column. So this entire application tracker, when filled, will give you so much information. You can create graphs out of this. You can create entire visual representations of your data to tell you what you are doing wrong, if you're not tracking it properly, if there has been too much time elapsed, what organizations have the highest rate of reaching out. Even if you failed all the interview rounds, it will give you exact idea that which organization completed the interview round fastest, so that next time when you apply, you know that this this organization will give you the most preference and the shortest period of time when interviewing. So this tracker will help you a lot in the process of being meticulous of the bomb strategy. I'll share this as well. I think Vedant will be able to facilitate this moment. Now, going in for the kill. Has anyone seen this movie? I'm looking at chat right now to see if someone has seen this movie. Yes, I have one. Pursuit of Happiness. Yes. Most of them have seen. Nice. So we'll use this example. It's the perfect blend. And I saw this movie and this was really inspiring to me for two reasons that I had mentioned earlier: patience and resilience. Patience, as I said, it's not available to all. It's a virtue of your external environment. But resilience of character, resilience of our skill set, resilience in terms of how we are approaching, that is defined by how we are approaching for the job. And this is actually what helps us go for the kill. Once we have researched our target, as the main character in this movie, he researched whom he wanted to apply for. There was a scene wherein he just sat in the car, solved the Rubik's Cube for them. He knew that that person was interested in this thing. A simple reaching out to your recruiter, just telling them that, okay, so I just saw your LinkedIn profile. I see you are interested in Google Cloud. I am also interested in Google Cloud. Can you just help me with these few things? Research your target, interact with them, tell them that, okay, I know you do this, and this is why I am interacting with you. That's the first step. Network. Once this establishment of your communication has been done, you need to understand that this is going to be a long process. There'll be a lot of back and forth. There'll be a lot of communication happening. Again, the main character in this movie, he kept on pursuing that person, kept on telling him in the most professional, courteous manner that how everything was fine and how he portrayed an image of success. He portrayed an image of friendliness. He portrayed an image that made the recruiter want to interact with them. So if you're interacting with someone on LinkedIn, don't be obnoxious. Don't tell them that I want you to hire me. I want you to directly just make me apply for this role. No, they don't know you. They are no one to, you are no one to them. Why should they do this big favor? And I'm telling you, this is a big favor. If someone is referring you to a job, it's a huge favor that can change your life. So why should they do that? Build this network with them, understand that what they are interested in. It's a week-long process usually, wherein you just interact constantly, like their posts, share whatever they have been doing, and build a sort of camaraderie so that the person gets to an acquaintance level that, okay, I know this guy does that, this guy helps me in this guy or this girl will just maybe drop me a message at 6 p.m. So that sort of networking will give you the edge over the others, because now you are not just someone, you are someone known. You are an acquaintance to the recruiter or the hiring manager. Customizing your application. We go back to our initial discussion that 90% of you will not know how or what skill sets are needed for this role. What will differentiate you? And here's where the networking aspect takes place. Ask your recruiter or hiring manager if you have an open role in this sector and what are the skill sets are you specifically looking for. Ask them. They might say that we are looking for a front-end developer in React, and we are looking for someone who has this number of this percentage of experience or these many years of experience, and who has specifically worked upon a product in a product company, who has specifically built apps for scale. Now, this is something that no one will mention in their resume unless and until they have this information. So get this information, customize that. Customize your resume based upon that. Make a resume specifically for each and every job that you apply. Change a few things. Add these keywords. Make this resume, like if you're applying for Google, make it very specific to Google. I've worked upon Google Cloud. I've worked upon Google Analytics. I've worked upon a few things related to Google. And that's why you should hire me, because I know you. I know about Google. Obviously, if I see this resume, I'll be like, oh, this is something that I have done as well. I want him. I want her. So customize your application. Follow up. Hiring managers are hounded by tens of hundreds of applications every single day. 90% of them will never hear back. The 10% who hear back are those who follow up continuously. Follow up once, follow up twice, follow up thrice, follow up till the point of making them mad. But follow. Keep following up till you get a response of yes or no. If no, follow up after 3 months. That, okay, I applied for this job. Is this role open again? But keep following till you get a yes or no answer. Point blank. Preparing for interviews is a strategy which involves A, brushing up your skill set, and B, brushing up your communication. C, looking for relevant statistics, relevant skills that will be asked in your interviews. Again, this happens through networking. There could be rounds of interview wherein only system design is asked. There could be rounds wherein only JS related problems will be asked. And there will be rounds wherein nothing technical will be asked. There'll just be a normal communication, normal chat with you. And even then, there is a possibility that you might be failed. Why? Because you just treated it as a normal communication, normal chat, and you didn't understand that the recruiter was trying to understand your behavioral aspects. So prepare for each and every interview round with the strategies that we have discussed in BOMB. Ask those 5 questions and keep moving forward. Staying persistent. This again ties up with resilience. This again ties up with being following up with everything. Job hunting is a process where you'll fail every time. As I said, out of the 200 applications, 10 will reach out to you. Track everything. Track who reached out to you. In those 10 applications, you'll have a chance of getting hired in 1 or 2. So be very persistent. It's a long process, but it'll give you results. Stay persistent every 200 cycles. Staying positive, again, just this is something we need to tell ourselves. It's a very hard job. Patience, again, is not awarded to everyone, but we need to stay positive. We need to convince ourselves that if we stick to the process, we'll get things done. Professional online presence. Now, again, I want to give you an example on this. If you don't have your own website created right now, you must create this website as soon as possible. Try to create a website that gives the recruiter an insight that, okay, this guy is a developer. He has his own website. He has his own portfolio. This seems nice. He has an online presence. Why shouldn't I reach out to him? So try to create a very interactive website that gives an information about you, that gives something unique for the recruiter to tell them that, okay, so this person has done a few things. If it's all the more better if you can tell them about the projects that you have done, as you see in this small demo website that I've created. So herein, you can just tell your recruiters, tell anyone that is trying to interact with you, that what all skill sets that you possess, what all projects, the kind of projects that you have worked upon, and how they can reach out to you. These 3 sections, nothing fancy. Fancy maybe in the introductory phase, wherein they are hooked. Like if you just move over here, you'll see that, okay, what's going on? Make your entire landing page so like nerdy, so something creative, so that whenever someone lands over here, they'll be tempted that, okay, let's see what happens when we click over here. And if you do again something unique, which I have done in this section, I've created my resume that generates dynamically over here. again, your chances of getting hired with such a unique customization, such a professional online presence are drastically improved. So if you see what I found out was that most of the times, even if the people landed on this website, they weren't very interested on like what's happening. So I just created something very dynamic. If you'll see over here in a few seconds, this thing will generate my resume on its own. So it's coding itself. My resume is being coded live right now on its own. So I can provide the same code to you. No one will know. And this is something that will help you maybe to stand out. And sometimes all you need is just to stand out and just see that what all things can be done better. So just wait for a minute and then maybe we'll move forward. So right now the code is just trying to optimize itself, like trying to give a very interactive experience for the user, for the recruiter. Imagine if you are a recruiter, won't you be interested in seeing that what happens next? If this person can create this in terms of a front-end experience, imagine what this person will do for our organization. So you see, it's just typing my resume right now, line by line. And this is how, when you are trying to hunt for a job, you go for the kill by standing out and at each and every step. And I'll not take much of your time. I'll just move forward over here and just tell you about the last point. There are a lot of professional resources available, such as resume.io, Pajama Jobs, Skill Scanner. Again, I'll just share this in a PDF soon to you so that you can use these AI tools. So these AI tools will help you in getting something that will hyper optimize your resumes, hyper optimize your process. We have AI right now, and we'll be able to use AI to our benefit to make sure that we only apply for targeted jobs through something like Pajama Jobs, to build resumes through Resume.io, to understand how we can rate our skill set through Skill Syncer, to create cover docs. And now I'll answer why cover docs are important. Cover doc is what's the first step of introduction to each and every company, each and every proper organization. Resume is something that will be a detailed description of your entire career journey, but a cover doc is basically an introductory level document, maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs, which will just state why you are amazing, who are you, and why you should be hired. That's it. It will not mention your skill sets. It will not mention any other information like what all projects you have done, what all certifications you have done. It will just tell the recruiter that, like a human introduction, that hello, I'm Ankush, and I was really interested in your organization. I've been working for 5 years or 6 years now, and now I hope that we can move forward, create a balance wherein we can understand each other, and maybe schedule some interviews so that I may be able to demonstrate my skill set. Just a simple cover letter that just tells you who you are, what your passions are, and what you can do, like how you can get into this organization. And trust me, many of the times, especially if you're applying for jobs that are in the foreign market like US or UK, cover docs are really, really appreciated. And that's why you should look for something like a cover doc AI to create this. And yeah, and moving forward, this is entirely a process which moves through a lot of training, a lot of resilience, a lot of work that needs to be put on at each and every single step. And this is again a never-ending situation wherein the cycle will be repeated every single time. All the resources that I mentioned right now will help you move forward. And owing to the short time that we had, this is how you can start. And definitely you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, on email directly, and I can help you move forward. JS Yatra is a great step by Vedant to equip you with the skill set, with the tools that you need to clear any technical interview rounds. Now it's your step, or now it's your entire journey that will be inculcated into these steps, which will help you to gather a career upskilling level based upon the strategies that I mentioned. And I think it'll be a huge boost to you going forward from this course to apply for any roles. And again, thank you for this session, and I hope you all learned. I can take some questions right now as well if someone has, or like if I don't know, Vedant, do we have some time for that?
Yeah, sure, Ankush, we can devote 2-3 minutes to that.
Okay, so if we have some time, I can take any questions if anyone has. Otherwise, well, I just told you like how you can train your own dragon in terms of how you can hunt your own job. So I hope you have this army right now and you can finally land a successful career or upskill your career to the success that you would want in the next coming years now. I'm waiting for questions, guys. If you have any questions, great. I'll just stop sharing my screen right now. And yeah, that's it. That's it from my end. Open source contributions and learning in public and remote jobs. That's a really good question. In fact, the specialization that I did in my BTech was in open source technologies and open standards. As I mentioned, that whenever you'll be trying to differentiate yourself, there are very few elements that you can create. You can create your own website, you can create projects, or you can contribute to projects. And all of this falls into this open source or the sector of open contributions. If you're working upon open source projects, you should work upon recognized open source projects or those open source projects that solve a critical and crucial problem relevant to what you are looking forward for. For example, if I'm applying for Facebook, I can work upon open source projects for TypeScript, for React, for any other open tools that Facebook has developed, and that'll really give a big boost to my career. Sometimes there are organizations, there are startup or even like higher level organizations that might skip the entire DSA or interview round process if you have very good open source contributions. I know at least 2 people in my contacts who have utilized this system. So open source is a great way to contribute and to build your skill set and to build a career. So there are a few things like few projects that you can look forward to. Facebook has React library that you can really contribute to. One other open source thing that has been going on right now, it's the OpenAI's own library. So you can look forward to contributing over there. Even some repos which have only data structures and databases, if you contribute towards those as well, I think that will be a huge boost to your career. Make sure you mention them in your resume though. You learn something you're totally new. What process do you follow to learn something you're totally new to, such that you can learn it quickly and start contributing to projects in your company? I usually follow a 3-step process of first going through the documentation, second, going through the bugs or like the issues that happened within the last 3 months to understand that what can go wrong in the next 3 months. And lastly, building a skill set through online courses through YouTube or Udemy. So it doesn't take much time. You'll have to be very inquisitive. You'll have to ask a lot of questions. You'll have to find the people who can answer those questions. If it's in like my organization, and if I want to quickly contribute to projects in my company, I would definitely would want to read through documentation and create scenarios or like do a build fix thing wherein I can ask questions based upon these and get those questions answered. So this question answer process really escalates your learning. Anything else?
Yeah, I think we have reached the end of this session.
Perfect.
Yeah, Ankush, thank you so much for training the dragons today. We learned a lot, and obviously, your resume and your portfolio was totally amazing. Like, I haven't seen anything as such up till now for the first time, and that whole thing, where the resume was getting self-created, it was totally amazing.
Thank you so
So,
much.
yeah, I think people are asking for your LinkedIn handles. So I'll add those along with the PDF that will be getting added onto the course, so that they can visit it. And obviously, that tracking sheet will also be shared with you also, that you can create similar experience when is the right time for the switching. All right. So yeah, this was all in this particular live class. Hope you all learned something good, and thank you so much, Ankush, for being there for us today.
Thank you guys. Had a great time, and I wish you all the success in JS Yatra. Looking forward to all you guys having great success ahead.
Cool, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.